Hamo's Corner.
Meg. Look, I just wanted to apologize for yelling at you like that.
I know you're sorry, but, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have said that about your family like that. Well, we'll just talk about it later, okay?
Okay.
Alright, let's continue. Sabrina was applauding her fighter. She sat down on the stool. Good round, Sarah, but she got you good, though. Sabrina takes out her mouthpiece and gives her some water. Hamo swallows some water and spits out the rest into a bucket. I never quite understood that. Yeah, I know. I'm going to turn up the heat in this round and make her work. I'm not going to give her free shots this time. Hamo sits her arms on the ropes. Okay, I like that idea. Turn on the heat and score another knockdown, or try to end it in this round, Sabrina said while toweling Hamo down. All right, I'll try, but she is tough, Hamo said. Very unrealistic. If this was really my character's first fight, I would not be doing this well. Unless Hamo's supposed to be purposely holding back, which is stupid. You shouldn't be giving them... I digress. I really do digress. The FFC's Corner. You alright, Meg?
So you're doing the accent again?
Yeah, I'm doing the accent now. Sorry. I'll try to make it sound good. I'll make it sound better than the man accent you gave me earlier. Susan said as the FFC sat down on her stool holding her head. And I thought committing suicide's a horrible fanfics was bad. The FFC leaned back, and let her arms rest on the ropes. Oh, stop being such a baby. You should have expected this. The last might be short, but she has a lot of ring experience over you. Takes out her mouthpiece and gives her some water. Who? She is strong, though. I don't know if I can win or not, Susan. The FFC spits out the water. Susan grabs her head. Slowly. Oh, she does it in slow motion. What the fuck are you doing? Okay, sorry. What? Okay. Susan grabs her head slowly and makes her look her in the eyes. Look at me, Meg. Apparently, my character doesn't have much of a choice, seeing you already grabbed her head and is forcing her to look at her unless the critics like looking in this direction. I refuse to look at you. I still refuse to look at you. Crap. Okay. Don't quit now. I want you to go all 3 rounds of this fight. Do you understand me? Susan kept her eyes locked on the FFC, waiting for a response. Okay, I'll give it my all. Thanks, Susan. Ding! Round 2. The bell sounded, and round 2 of this 3-round fight between Hamo and the FFC has begun. The FFC comes out slowly with her guard up. Hamo this time comes out in a southpaw stance. The FFC wasn't going to waste any time, so she took it upon herself to throw the first punch of the second round. It was a quick right jab to the forehead. The punch landed without any effort from Hamo to block it. She easily sags off the punch and circles around the FFC. Why did she let it land? What is she up to? The FFC thought to herself as she threw a quick right hook to the temple to keep up the pressure. Hamo's right red glove rose up and blocked the right hook from the FFC easily. She returns the favor with a quick left hook to the jaw. Pow! Spit is sent flying from the FFC's jaw. Lovely visual. Hamo kept up the pressure with 2 strong hooks to the body. The FFC releases a small grunt and covers up to avoid further punishment, not farther punish. This is why you proofread your work before you post it on the internet. This story has been up since 2011. It's 2013 now. It's been up for 2 years, and you're telling me that you haven't read this thing over and over again to make sure that the grammar and stuff is fine? I'm sorry, but this person probably knew I was going to be reading this eventually, unless they purposely put in the typos just to piss me off. That better not be true, because if it is, I will kill you! Let's continue. To avoid further punishment from Hamo. Gotcha, Meg. Hamo knew the FFC fell for her trap. She fires off a strong left uppercut, which not destroyed the FFC's guard, but sent her to the mat on her back. Down, the ref shouted, well, obviously destroyed her guard if it sent her flying to the mat. As FFC took... Okay. Down. The ref shouted as Hamo took a step back to let the ref start the count without telling Hamo to get watches in horror as the ref reached the count of 5. What? 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 Did I just read? Let's read that again, but slower, to see what the hell's wrong with the sentence. The ref shouted as Hamo took a step back to let the ref start the count without telling Hamo to get watches in horror as the ref reached the count of 5. Worst sentence ever. It apparently is like 3 incomplete sentences merged into one with no thought, no train of thought at all, just jumbled mess of crappiness.
Are you going to be okay?
I'll be fine. The FSC was breathing heavily, still on her back. 9. The ref was close to counting her out with all of her strength and heart. She pushes herself up in time to beat the count successfully. Keep fighting till the end, Meg. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep fighting till the end, Meg. Susan cheers her on from the outside of the ring. I messed up, okay? Are you okay? Can you continue? The ref asks the FFC. I'm fine. The FFC answers. Okay, you can quit at any time if you're hurt. The ref reminds the FFC. The FFC just nods to show that she understood the ref and gets back into her fighting stance. All right, box. The ref signals for the fight to continue. With a minute to go, both ladies circle each other, waiting for the other to make a mistake. This time, Hamo made the first move. She threw a quick double jab, ending with a right hook. Hamo wanted to use the combo, apply pressure to the FFC to make her work, and mindful of her punching power. The FFC blocks the combo and sees Hamo didn't bring her gloves back to block. It seems Hamo wanted to keep that pressure she had going, but sadly she was met with a nasty barrage of right and left hook to both of her eyes. Bam, 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 bam. The punches landed in perfect rhythm with Hamo's eyes. That's it. Give a hell, Meg. Susan cheers up her cousin, hoping this could lead to a knockdown. Shouldn't say cheers on her cousin, unless the FanFic Critic is supposed to be like uber depressed while she's fighting. Wah, wah, I need someone to cheer me up. There was some swelling around the eyes of Hamo as she finally clinches to stop the deadly barrage. It was a tight clinch, so there was no chance of the FFC to break out of it. The bell sounded as the ref broke them up and sent them back to their corners. No words were exchanged this time between the FFC and Hamo. All they did was just stare blankly at each other. The FFC's corner, so I guess they teleported. The FFC was walking back to her corner slowly as she sat down on her stool. She once again leaned back against the ring post, resting her head and arms on the ropes, breathing heavily. She had some redness and bruises on her chin and cheeks. Her midsection and arms were the only parts of her body that were not red or bruised. Don't you mean bruised? Susan takes out her mouthpiece to let her friend breathe. She puts a bag of ice on top of her head to ease the pain she took from all the headshots. How are you feeling? Susan asks. I have been better, Susan. I don't know how much I have left in the tank, though. She is strong. The FFC was having trouble speaking from all the headshots she suffered in this fight. How charming. There's a good chance that my character is brain damaged. Well, that wouldn't be too far-fetched from the truth now, would it, with all the bad fanfics I've read? It was a joke, Susan. Well, at least you're not bleeding. That's a good sign. Look, you need to protect your head from her punches. You can't keep letting her pound away at your skull like that. I want you to take punches with your full head and block them when you have the chance. After that, I want you to counter with a right hook to her eye, since you got some damage on them, or a combo to the body. Your only chance of winning this fight is by KO now. Use what I just told you to set up one punch that we both know that will keep her down for good. Got it. Susan moves the bag of ice from the FFC's head and towels her off. And what if that doesn't work? The FFC said weakly. One word, brawl. I want you to brawl with her, Meg. You're bigger than her, so you have the advantage to brawl against her. Try to make it happen, understand? Susan said putting in the FFC's mouthpiece. The FFC nods her head slowly in agreement with Susan. How was that? Was that better?
Yes.
See, I told you. Hamo's corner. Hamo headed back to her corner, pissed. And now I lost my place. There we go. Pissed off even though she knew she had won the round. Sabrina pulls out her stool so she can sit down. I won't need to sit down, Sabrina, Hamo said sternly. Let me guess, she pissed you off. She pissed you off. Correct? Sabrina took out Hamo's mouthpiece and gave her some water. Hamo nodded her head slowly as she swallowed the water Sabrina gave her. She didn't piss me off. She made me fucking mad. I'm not holding back this time. It's time to put her to sleep. Hamo threw a strong right straight to the air. I agree with you, but you have to clam down. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Is it really that hard to spell the word calm? All that anger is going to be your downfall. Put her to sleep, but go about doing it the smart way. You understand, Sarah? Susan? I guess Susan switched sides, huh? Don't you mean Sabrina? Said, working on the swelling from her eyes. I'll do more than understand. I will obey your order. Hamo spoke with great passion. Oh, how cute. They're in love. That's good. You're winning the fight, so the choice is yours, Sarah. Don't you mean the choice is yours, comma, Sarah? Knock her out or let her go the distance with you. Sabrina finishes working on the swelling. Hamo focused her eyes on the FFC. She was on a mission now. A mission to kill. Alright, fighters, to the center. There are signals for both of them to come to the center. Both the FFC and Hamo did what they were told and walked to the center of the ring. I have a chance to win this fight. I better not let this chance pass me by, thought the FFC as she felt victory is in her grasp. I'm not going to hold back anymore, Hamo thought to herself. She was tired of playing around. She wanted to end this with one punch. Alright, this is the last round. Touch gloves, the ref said to both of them. This has been a good fight. You're pretty tough, Meg. Hamo gave her a strong glove tap. Same to you, Sarah. I'm glad we could put the past behind us, or so you think. She returns the strong tap with a strong tap of her own. Both of them take a step back before the round began. Ding! Round 3. Oh, the final round. We're almost done with this fanfic. Ugh, about like 3/4 done, I'd say. They could have had like the rounds be in chapters, you know. Don't you agree?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The bell sounded for the last and final round of this fight. The FFC and Hamo didn't waste time. Hamo tried to double with a right hook combo to create some pressure this time, but she added more force on one punch of the combo. The FFC blocked the combo, but the right hook was strong enough to break her guard and knock her back a bit. The FFC stayed on her feet, but was too slow to get her guard up again. Hamo knew this and chased her down, doing the same combo she did before. This time it landed successfully. Pow, pow, pow. The FFC's head is rocked around like a speed bag. Lots of sweat went flying off her head, too. Hamo took a gamble and tried the combo again. It landed without much argument from the FFC, but the only difference was that the FFC regained her senses enough to take both jabs of the combo with her forehead and ducks the right hook. She counters with a powerful left uppercut to the stomach. Boom. Hamo's mouthpiece almost fell out of her mouth, but she bit down on it very hard while she was doubling over from the punch. The FFC wasn't wasting any time as she kept up the punishment to the body with multiple uppercuts to Hamo's body. Each landed in almost perfect rhythm. The body shots sent Hamo knock her back, but she had enough of this crap. She started throwing wild hooks to her head. That landed with great force. The FFC knew what was going on. This was what she wanted to do, so she stayed tough and took the headshots while landing more body shots, an occasional right or left hook to the eyes of Hamo. This brawl went on for a good minute and 30 seconds. The swelling around Hamo's eyes got worse. She also had a heavily bruised body. The FFC had 2 deep cuts on her forehead and swelling around both eyes that was even worse than the swelling around Hamo's eyes. Her right eye was also a third closed. Ow. So I look like Popeye. The end result of this brawl was a powerful right uppercut to the chin of Hamo sent lots of sweat flew off her body as well as her mouthpiece. It came out of her mouth and landed outside of the ring. Oh, God, this horrible grammar in this story is giving me a bloody headache. She landed hard on the canvas flat on her back. There you go, Meg. Susan watches as she sees victory in sight. The FFC was shocked she was able to put Hamo down. The ref had to push her back as she tried to walk forward. Get back so I can start the count, the ref commanded. The FFC did what she was told and stayed back trying to gather her bearings. She was near her limit. She couldn't take any more punishment. Ugh, I hope this is enough to beat her. I'm done if she gets back up, the FFC thought to herself as the ref started the count. The ref reaches the count of 5 and checks to see if Hamo is still conscious. Hamo was breathing hard, but she wasn't out of it. She sat up at the count of 7, looking at the ref. Hamo finds enough strength to get back up on the count of 9. You only have 30 seconds, Sarah girl. No more fooling around. End it now, Sabrina shouted from the outside of the ring. Are you okay? There's 30 seconds left in this round. The ref looks into Hamo's eyes. Hamo nods her head at the ref and gets back into a fighting stance. All right, 30 seconds, box. The ref gives the signals to continue fighting. I don't know what the hell happened there.
It appears that you were possessed by SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, you're right. I got possessed by SpongeBob. Ha ha ha. I gotta try and stay alive. It was a triumph. I'm making a note here. Huge success.
Meg, this isn't a bloody musical.
I know it's not a musical, Susan. I'm just fooling around. Whatever. You're no fun. The FFC thought to herself as she slowly approaches Hamo. Due to all the damage she took during their brawl, that wasn't the right choice of action for the FFC. Hamo was still in better shape than the FFC, even though she had some injuries of her own. She saw the FFC approaching her slowly with a weak guard up, so she stepped up and threw a strong right hook to the temple of the FFC. The FFC blocked it. Why does this person not know how to use EDs? But her guard was broken in the process. Hamo loaded up and released a powerful left haymaker to the jaw of the FFC. Boom! The punch landed with full force. It sent her mouthpiece flying out of the ring. The FFC was sent reeling back and landed on her hip hard. Since Hamo was already far enough from the FFC, the ref didn't have to tell her to get back. A 1, a 2, a 3. The ref started her count and apparently turned into the owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial with the naked boy. The FSC was breathing heavily and lay on her back trying to focus her eyes. Her vision was very blurry and she saw 3 refs instead of 1. So it was nearly impossible to regain focus of her vision. She saw everything as 3 objects instead of 1. Yes, you just said that. You didn't need to repeat it. A 4, a 5, a 6. The ref count continues. The voice of the ref sounded like she was 100 feet away from the FFC as she was still on her back trying to regain focus of her vision to get back up. 7, 8, 9. The ref count was close to ending. The FFC was done, so she just stayed on her back looking up at the 3 refs and lights, not trying to get back up. 10, you're out. Ring the bell, the ref said. The ref said. When Hamo heard those words, they were sweet music to her ears. She rose her gloves up in victory. Sabrina came in and gave her fighter a big hug. You did it, Sarah. You beat the shit out of someone. You should be proud of yourself. That was a close one, Sabrina said happily. Yeah, it was a tough fight. She did well for her first fight. Hamo said sluggishly. The ref and Susan helped the FOC back to her feet. They revived her with some smelling salts. I thought she was already awake. Oh, whatever. Huh? What happened? What happened? I guess you get amnesia after a boxing fight. The FOC was back normal for the most part, so did it magically heal her too? You lost. And we woke you up with smelling slots. Don't you mean salts? Susan answers her cousin. Damn, I was so close. Those things are strong, by the way, Susan. The FOC tried to get up, but was stopped by Susan. Can you walk? How are you feeling? Susan questions her, although by giving one look at her cousin, you would think she would know that she doesn't feel good, seeing it practically said that one of her eyes were practically closed and that she's covered in bruises. I think I can walk, but I feel like shit. Responses the FF. Didn't we have this conversation? It's responded, not responses. Okay, that's good to hear. Stand and head to the center of the ring for the results. What results? We already know who won! Susan stepped out of her way and gave her room to walk. Both the FFC and Susan met each other at the center. They gave each other a strong hug. Good fight, Meg. Now we're even, Hamo said with a wide grin. Same to you, Hamo Hamster. I mean, Sarah, we are certainly even, the FOC replied with a smile. After the ref rose Hamo's glove in victory, and that is a sentence apparently because they have a period. If that's supposed to be a sentence, it should not say after. It should just say the ref rose Hamo's glove in victory. Get rid of the word after. But the crowd in attendance gave a huge pop to both fighters. After that, both of them said their goodbyes, but didn't forget to exchange contact information and stay in touch with each other if they wanted to spar or hang out again. I would never in a million years give my contact information to Hamo Hamster. On the drive home with Susan, the FOC couldn't hold it back anymore. She knew something was up. While not that experienced in the sport, she found it unfair that someone as new like her will fight someone with a lot of experience with sport from their first match of their career. Okay, Susan, out with it. You knew she was going to kick my ass, right? The FOC asked Susan as she was driving. I have no idea what you're talking about. The Susan said while trying to hold back her laughter. I'll continue to read. It's not that funny, Susan. Tell me the truth. Susan saw it in her eyes that she was serious. Oh, all right, Meg. When you hit me weeks ago, I knew you were expecting me to destroy you with something along the lines like that. But I wanted to go getting my payback this time differently. It took a lot of work, but I got Sabrina and Hamo to agree to this fight. I knew the fight I put you in was a mismatch, and I knew that you had little chance of winning the fight. But at first, acted like you had a chance, but to my surprise, you stepped up to the occasion, almost beat an undefeated fighter. Well, I'm happy that I got my payback. I'm also very proud of your performance. You did very well for your first fight. Susan pulls into the driveway and stops the car after finishing her explanation. Susan will be reading the rest of this fanfic. The FFC took a couple of minutes to process the information she got from Susan. Her first thoughts were to let it go, and be happy that Susan cares about you. How did those actions right there imply that she cares about you? But after that, the rest of her thoughts were sneaky and dirty tricks to get back at Susan. Susan notices how long she was taking to construct a response. It's time to get out, Meg. Susan tried to change the subject to make the FOC forget about what she had just said. Susan, I love you. Whatever. The FOC spoke softly as she hugged Susan. Thanks, I love you too. Susan was shocked by the simple response from the FFC. Let's go inside and have dinner. Oops, I forgot to do her voice, oh well. The FFC said, oh, okay. Susan breaks the hug, and both of them get out of the car. They walk in unison to their front door together and went inside to enjoy a dinner between friends. Friends play dirty tricks on each other all the time. But the important thing we should take from these two is that no matter what that friend does to hurt you, you should always forgive and forget. The end. What a charming story. So, your friend is mad at you because you punched her when you're in the middle of a freak out. So your friend decides to put you in a boxing match. You almost get the living crap beaten out of you. You possibly could have died and had brain damage. But you're supposed to forgive and forget because you're friends. Friendship does not work like that. I mean, really. First of all, I can guarantee that if I did decide to put my friend in a boxing match, I would not be all giddy and happy that she got the crap beaten out of her. Secondly, she's a bloody rookie and you had her make it so far in the match. It doesn't make any sense unless the other person who was fighting was like purposely holding back. Which, why would you do that? It was just unrealistic, and the story's moral is so dumb. If your friend hurts you badly, forgive them. No, no, no! It was just awful. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I really can't believe I'm saying this. But I preferred overlooked feelings to this fanfic. Yes, that is right. Because at least in that fanfic, we were still written out of character. But not as bad as this. This is just awful. This really is. And let's not get started on the spelling and grammar. Like the FanFic Critic was saying herself, use EDs. EDs, they're not that hard to type out. ED. ED. It's not that hard. Really not that hard. So, just to be quite clear, if the author's watching this, I didn't like your fanfic. I obviously do not like your fanfic. And, seeing you said you're fine if people don't like it, hopefully you'll respect my opinion as to why I don't like it. And I think you know why I don't like it. Well, I think it's about time that the FanFic Critic, sat back in the seat and, took over the review. Congrats to 200 episodes, by the way. I'm Susan, and I am out of here. Well, I would have more to add, but I think Susan pretty much just took the words out of my mouth. Although I still would say that Overlooked Feelings was worse than this one, only because you did slash Susan and I together in that fanfic. But this one, I agree with what she had to say about the whole moral thing at the end. That doesn't make any sense, you know, and it could have been worded a lot differently too. Like, if you wanted to have it be that Susan did it to get back at me, that would have been fine. But I think you should have had to be that she felt bad about it or something. Have it be more realistic to how Susan is. Mind you, this fanfic was written 2 years ago, and things were different 2 years ago, but I highly doubt Susan of 2 years ago would do something like this anyway. Trust me, I live with her, I should know. I know her better than you do. I mean, this author tries to write us like they know us so well, you really don't. You really don't. Well, it's been 200 episodes. 200 episodes of me reviewing fanfics. And here's to 200 more. I want to thank you all for sticking by with this. We'll probably have more episodes coming up. This is the season finale. Sorry it wasn't as spectacular as some other episodes can be, but oh well. I want to thank everyone who decided to send their congratulations my way. The Fanfiction Critic, another Fanfic Critic, Les, Sonic Guru, a.k.a. Dan. I want to thank you all. Appreciate the thoughts, and I wish you all well with your own lives and your own web shows. Well, I'm the Fanfic Critic. I read it, you listen, and I most certainly need a drink. Just not gin. I think Susan and I learned from our mistake last time. Here's to another 200 episodes.
I didn't know that you drew.
Yeah, I used to draw a while back. I even had a comic called Solve that I showed in an old episode of FanFic Critic I had done. Just haven't done it in a while. I actually stopped drawing, to be honest. Why'd you stop? Well, you know, your dreams as a kid aren't exactly realistic if you think about it. I was thinking of being like a comic book artist and making a living making comics when I was a kid, and as you can clearly see, that did not happen. I guess I can kind of understand that. Many things I did when I was younger that I don't do now. My parents never really liked my dreams, to put it that way. Part of me wishes I never listened to them, because I could have pursued some of them, I suppose. Look, I know I already apologized earlier, but I'm going to apologize again. I'm sorry that I yelled at you like that. I shouldn't have called you a freak. Susan, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I've seen how you've been insulted. And it was very low of me to call you that. Well, I was no better by insulting your folks. Well, yes, it was wrong of you to say that too. But to be quite frank, I gave you good reason to have that assumption about them, because I myself kind of have that feeling towards them. It's kind of weird. You know that someone in your family is despicable. In my case, it's most of my family, and yet I defended them anyway, which I probably shouldn't have, but I need to tell you why. Okay. You remember my great aunt, the one who me and you had house sat for her cat, the one you kidnapped me to babysit for? Yeah, the one that I had forced you to come along. Well, she was someone in my family who treated me decently. I mean, she wasn't overly loving, but she still treated me fine. She still kept in contact with me in comparison to the rest of my family. Well, the thing is, she passed away. And I'd gone to England to attend her funeral. Gee, Sue, I'm sorry to hear that. It's okay. You didn't know. I didn't tell you. I should have told you, but I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to put it behind me, because that was my intention, was never to go back to England after that. I mean, it wasn't like I was close with her, but it was still upsetting. And I found out by my mum. Thing is, over the years of living here with you, I've tried contacting my mum and dad. Sent them emails, sent them text messages, I've contacted them on holidays, on their birthdays, just to let them know that I'm still thinking about them despite how they've treated me. And I never heard back from them. And the one time she decides to contact me is to tell me that someone in our family died. I mean, I suppose it's better than her not telling me at all. I did see my mum and dad at the funeral. So, how did they act towards you? They were civil. Almost loving. Looked like they seemed to be regretting how they treated me. They looked like they missed me, and they even tried to talk me into coming back home, living with them. Obviously, I declined. I'd made a life here in the States. And frankly, and I even said this to them, you're more of a family to me than they'll ever be. I think I hurt them by saying that, but it is true. If I fucked up with them, that would be the end of it. I'd be gone. I lost my job and they kicked me out and don't try to contact me even years after it happened. They don't say if I'm doing fine. They don't return my calls. They don't even... And yet, because of a death in the family, they decide, oh, well, now we want you to come back and move in with us. It doesn't matter that you've made a life in these States and that you have a friend there. So, that's how I feel. And, with you, I've made plenty of mistakes. Plenty. I've done things where I wouldn't have blamed you at all if you had kicked me out, and you haven't. which I am surprised by that. But you've always been there for me, and they haven't. So, you know, if they want me to visit them, I will. If they do decide to be sincere about their changed feelings and they want to give me contact information and talk to me, that's fine, but I'm never moving back there. Well, you know, Sue, if you did want to move back to England, I would be okay with it, you know, as long as you're happy there and as long as that's what you want to do. I don't want to. You're my family, not them. That's a bit harsh. I know it's a bit harsh, but the things they had done, I mean, part of me will always love them, but I don't think I can ever forgive them fully for it. Well, I can get that. I am sorry. I should have opened up to you about my family situation. I mean, at first it was because I wasn't comfortable with sharing that stuff with you, but you've opened up to me about a lot of things. You've told me about your childhood, about your life growing up. When you've had family gatherings with your own family, you've always invited me. Acted like I was part of it. I should have opened up to you more, but I didn't really want to talk about it. And I am sorry that the one person I did kind of open up to about it was Lesbian Jesus. Don't ask why. It was right after you had gone into that brief coma after Archangel Assassin did that over-the-top freak-out code thing. And for some reason, I just started letting it out to her. She could have been controlling me, knowing her. I don't know, maybe not. I felt comfortable talking to her about it, but I should have talked to you about it too. But I didn't think you would care to know. I would have cared to know. Well, I know that now, I suppose. So, like I said before, I am sorry. And like I said before, it's okay. So, what were your thoughts on the fanfic? The fanfic? Well, you know, it wasn't really the worst thing I've read, especially involving me, but I still didn't really like it. I know, I just didn't like it. I said most of my thoughts to the camera, I should say, but the other things I could have added, but I was so angry. I mean, that ending. Ugh. There have been worse fanfics out there about us. I know, there's worse fanfics. I mean, you know, there was those two where I beat the crap out of you. One of them turned out to be a dream, and the other one turned into some weird slash fanfic and ended up being taken down, but I just don't like how they're trying to depict us so badly. It's stupid. They're fans. They don't mean any harm, for the most part. I know, they're just fans, but still. If fictional characters were real, and if they read these fanfics about them, I bet they would not be very pleased about them either. Nope, not at all. So, do you still have your sold comic? Yeah, I still have that comic. Mind if I take a look at it later? I don't see why not. You wanna know what? Sit tight, I'll go get it now.